So is yes. So we started with a lecture. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss the continuation of the examination of the patient of chapter number 24. So that is the chapter number 23. From that is the examination of the patient is continued after the chapter number 26. So in this, first we will revise or see what are the different points that we studied regarding the examination of the patient in in chapter number 23, then in 24, and continue with this part. So in this, the examination of the patient in chapter number 23, Dr. Kent give the reference of aphorism number 84, and in this aphorism there is the recording of symptoms, that is when patient comes to the physician, how he has to record the symptom of a patient, and for this he has three sources, that is patient himself, then second the attendant, and the third one physician himself, and he has to record each and every symptom properly. That guidelines given in aphorism number 84 by Dr. Samuel Hahnemann. So in this, with the reference of that aphorism 84, Dr. Kent explained different points in this chapter, that is chapter number 23. So what are these different points? So in this, Dr. Kent firstly explained that record in a patient language, that is what symptoms you are recording, that symptoms must be recorded in a patient language, and when you are using the synonym for the patient's language, while using the synonyms you must be careful that the meaning of that word cannot be changed, or what is the idea of patient, that is of telling about that symptom, that cannot be changed. So you must be careful while using the synonyms of the words or the language of a patient. So in this he explained one example of menses, that is a patient may told about, that is menses as a show, or that is monthlies. Then in next part Dr. Kent explained as, that is record in such a manner that it can be readable. When you are recording the symptoms, it should be recorded in such manner that it should be a readable symptom. And after this he make one suggestion that while recording the symptom, you make the three columns of a page, and in these three columns you have to make the record format. Then after this he mentioned about, that is ask question to a close attendant. Then while asking the question to a close attendant, be careful about it, and in this the important given to the decide the truthfulness of attendant, that is attendant telling about it is true or not, or true or false, as you know that the attendant may have the interest in a patient, or may told the symptoms in an exaggerated form. So physician must know about it, and he should decide the truthfulness of the attendant. Then this is the second part that Dr. Kent explained about. Then after recording the symptom from attendant, the physician must record the symptom from or he should observe himself what are the different observation he see in a patient. Then after recording of these symptoms, Dr. Kent explained about, that is the careful examination is important. That is, while recording the symptoms, only recording a symptom is not important, but along with this you must do the exact physical examination of a patient, as what are the different signs that you see in a patient, you must examine properly each and every patient, as if you neglect making a careful examination of a patient, will be the first sufferer, that is patient will be the first sufferer, then secondly you are the sufferers, and thirdly the homeopathy also suffers, that is if you go wrong in a physical examination or careful examination of a patient, in this the patient himself is the first sufferer, then you also suffer from this, and as you suffer from this, homeopathy can also suffer from this. So in this, the you must be careful while record the symptom or while examine the patient, or careful examination is necessary in that point. Then Dr. Kent explained about, that is, no leading questions can be asked to the patient that gives the answer as yes or no. So be careful while asking the question to the patient, or if your question gives the answer yes or no, your question is wrong. So be make the practice to ask the question to the patient, and it is very necessary to ask the questions during the student life, as you have to make the practice of taking the case in student life. And when you make the practice of taking the case in student life, that you can be a good homeopath in a future. And along with this, he also explained that is importance of anatomy and physiology. That is, no homeopath ever discourage the true study of anatomy and physiology. It is important not only to know the superficial but the real profound character, to enable you to recognize the symptom image from another. As if you understand anatomy and physiology, you can understand about the signs and symptom of a patient. So it is very important to study the anatomy and physiology as a medical student. So it is, that is the study this paragraph carefully and meditate upon it. If you do not form habits now, and you will not form practice hereafter, you have no regular course and will get into habits you cannot break up. So it is important to make the practice of taking the case during the student's life only. So this is the different points that Dr. Kent explained in chapter number 23. Then in previous lecture we started with chapter number 24, that is the continued part of the examination of the patient. And in this chapter number 24, we discuss the half topic, and in this half topic we discuss the different points regarding the examination of the patient. And in this, the first point is regarding the examination must be continued with due respect to the nature of the sickness and due respect to the nature of materia medicum. Means while you are examining the patient, you must have a respect to the nature of sickness. What is the disease condition? You must have a respect to that disease condition, and with due respect to the nature of materia medicum. As while recording the symptom or while examining the patient, you must have a respect to disease condition. Also you have to match that disease condition with the different medicine from a materia medica. So you must have a respect to that materia medica also, means to the remedy or the medicine also. Then the symptoms have references to pathology and the diagnosis. In this, after this they explain the importance of, that is, the common symptoms. Then after this they explain about the importance of peculiar symptoms. Without it you must not expect to cure. That is, if you, in your case there is absence of peculiar symptoms and there is only the common symptoms present, on the basis of which you can make the diagnosis and the prognosis of case, but with that you cannot find the homeopathic remedy. So you cannot expect the cure of a patient without the peculiar symptoms. After this, Dr. Kent explained the importance of signs, and while giving the importance of signs or the importance of common symptoms, that is, it is important for the physician to know the value of expression. What are the expression of patient that must be understood by the physician? And for this he give one example, that is, patient having different symptoms, that is, stare with a glassy eye. So in this he make the differential diagnosis, that is, it may be due to the head injury, it may be due to shock, it may be due to intoxication, it may be due to typhoid fever and some other diseases. So while knowing the expression value of expression, while knowing the proper pathological condition, you can make the differential diagnosis of a case, and from the differential diagnosis of case you can make the proper diagnosis of that case. And for the proper diagnosis, when you make the proper diagnosis, that is by studying the common symptoms, you can make the perfect diagnosis and prognosis of case. And as a homeopath, you must know each and everything about your patient, each and everything about your patient's symptoms. And in this, if that is who neglects this is not a true homeopathic physician. That is, if homeopathic physician neglects that things, he is not a true homeopathic physician. And a mere superficial application of homeopathy is not sufficient for this condition. So you must be a good homeopath, and for this reason you must know the perfect diagnosis and prognosis of a case. Perfect diagnosis and prognosis of a case. So this is the different point that we study in previous lecture. Along with this also we covered the points, that is in next para he explained about, that is common symptoms that can be countable by morbid anatomy, then uncommon symptoms that are uncountable by morbid anatomy. And after this Dr. Kent explained about, that is uh, patient comes to you by taking some medicines, that is how you examining the patient when the patient comes to you with taking of some medicine. As you know that when patient takes some medicine, in that case he change the symptoms in some manners. That is, so what to do in these cases? So if it is an acute case or it is a chronic case, so what to do if patient comes to you with taking of some medicines? So in acute cases, we know that it is of short duration and there is no time for the wait and watch. For this reason, if patient is in acute condition, you have to make the totality or form the totality on the basis of present symptom and the previous symptoms before taking the medicine, and you have to select the medicine for these acute cases, as patient is already in a severe suffering in acute cases. And secondly, in chronic cases, if patient comes to you with taking of some medicine, so in that case you have to wait and watch after the completion of action of that medicine what the patient is taken, or you have to administer the antidote for the treatment or a drug that has been taken by a patient. So uh, these are the two possibilities in a chronic condition, that is you have to wait and watch, or you have to uh, uh, select a well known antidote. And in this way you can treat this patient, that is anything that will effect a change in a symptom, that is the taking of drug or drinking too much wine, drinking a great exposure will mask the case, and this mask must wear away before the intelligent physician can make a cure. That is, if you are a intelligent physician, first you have to wear away this mask of taking some medicines, and it is not along with medicine but along with the things that will change the uh, symptoms. So this is the different points that we studied in previous lecture. Now in today's lecture we are going to start with the next para of Dr. Kent's philosophy, chapter number 24. So up till now all of you understand or any difficulty regarding it? Up till now we will revise the chapter what we studied regarding the examination of the patient. There are total 4 topics regarding the examination of the patient: 23, 24, 25 and 26. The topic is the same, and in this he explained about the case taking, that is what is the case taking. He give his view, that is Dr. Kent explained his view regarding the case taking, that is aphorism number 83 to 104. So up till now all of you understand or any difficulty you have to want any point repeated? repeat explanation of any point? Please give some response. Are you listening or not? Okay, so can we continue with topic? Okay. So in next para, Dr. Kent explain as in ordinary cases, however, we see no such things. Confusion is brought about at once if the physician administered another medicine in place of administering placebo. At times a patient will present himself and you will be able to get a true image of the sickness by ascertaining all the things that occurred up to a given date. That is, upon that date, he says, I took some medicine and most of my symptoms subsided. They lead to another image from which you can gather nothing. A scattering has taken place. The symptoms may cover page upon page, and yet what remedy do you see? None at all. It looks as if a number of provings of a drug had been mixed up altogether, intermingling symptoms here and there without any distinctness. No utilization is possible. Now, up to that date, the symptom you gathered may be just all that is necessary. Up to that date, the symptom present the image of a remedy which, if administered, may yet act. Those symptoms it will fail at first because of the confusion, but after waiting a little, it will act. After the administration of a remedy prescribed upon symptoms in the past, I have known the remedy may times to go on acting. Again, I have known that remedy to fail entirely. In such a case, wait a while and then order will begin to come that remedy which was indicated previous to the drugging will act. Suppose a physician comes to you and says, up to a certain date, I was able to hold this patient's symptoms in order that with Thuja, but then the symptoms seem to change and I have gave such and such medicines and I have never seen such good results in prescribing as I did up to that period. You must give him Thuja again and in this way take up the thread where it was lost, examining the image of the case where the order was lost because that is where the image must be found. On the contrary, the symptom and the inconvenience which exhibited themselves previous to the use of a medicines and several days after their discontinuance give the true fundamental notion of the original form of the malady. So in this para, Dr. Kent explained about that if you are giving some medicines to the patient, that is without giving the placebo, if patient comes to you, you take the case and you prescribe some medicine to the patient, and in this case you find that the patient have that relief, that is up to that date patient said up to that time I subsided my symptoms, and after some period there is no any change in the symptom of a patient, but after some time when you prescribe some medicine that will give the excellent result in that case. So what is the medicine you prescribe in that case is the same medicine what the patient taking in a past, that is what medicine you prescribe on a past symptom of a patient, that medicine will act now very well and give relief to the patient. So this is regarding, that is if the patient comes to you, you cannot wait and watch or you cannot give the placebo at that time, and you record each and every symptom that is previously present in a patient before taking that medicine. or up to that time the patient said that I am taking that medicine and my symptoms are subsided, then there is no change in that. So what happening to this? So in that case you have to consider that you have to retake the case and you give the medicine. So after this, just a minute.